Shots rang out at a Chipotle in Southfield, putting a worker in the hospital.
Let's talk about real life issues, love and relationships. Let's have a good time with the missus. Let's talk about celebrities. Let's talk about caring events. Let's talk about things you don't see on regular TV. So join in on PEACHY Tea Time. PEACHY Tea Time. Tune in on PEACHY Tea Time. PEACHY Tea Time. Come join us on PEACHY Tea Time. PEACHY Tea Time. Join us on PEACHY Tea Time. PEACHY Tea Time. Yeah.
In order for y'all to do what God is calling y'all to do, to take y'all platform for it to plateau and it can go to levels that you never seen, don't best believe it's gonna come with devils.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like they know what I'm gonna say because it's polite. But I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody gonna clean it up.
Warning! Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Hello. Hey, it's your girl, the missus with the kisses, baby. Mwah. What's goody, baby? What's goody in your city, baby? It's all good over here on my block. We doing good. We doing good. You know, I ain't heard no gunshots, nothing like that, which I don't hear anyways. I don't hear anyways. Shout out, baby. We got Ella Harris. She said, hello, chat. She said, hello. Oh, AFC said, hello. Y'all see he in the building, baby. He is in the building, okay? Ella said, hey, Jay. Thank you for coming, Ella. Thank you so much. Y'all, we have a great show for you tonight, okay? When I say a great show, we got a great show. It's going down, okay? I must say it's going down tonight. Explicit language to the 10th level. Sorry, Carmen. Sorry, Mama Peach. Explicit language to the 10th hour. Okay, we got me on here. Y'all know I be trying to keep it calm and collective and not, do too much cursing. But then Jason gets upset. Jason gets upset, and then Jason just start going off. And then when Poolie come on, which he ain't on tonight, but when Poolie come on, Poolie just don't care. He started cussing before I even say explicit language, and also allegedly. Okay, but y'all know I can't do this show on Wednesday, which is my favorite night. It's still my favorite night because we dig down deep with the crime, and we have the families that come on Wednesdays just as well. Hey, Chrissy, what's up, boo? But I'm telling y'all, tonight is gonna be a little different. We are doing an interview tonight. Just Jay, he has a podcast. I know y'all been seeing my my little reels and everything. Go DJ. That's my DJ. That's my mentor. Okay. That's my mentor. I love DJ Just Jay. When I tell y'all, I've been watching him for years. He has a very, very high following base. And I reached out to him and was like, look, I need a mentor. Would you be my mentor? He was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm like, yes. And he has been helping me ever since. Now, I know he just watched that fair usage. And he probably sitting down there right now talking about I told her and I see him down there laughing. You know, sometimes God make things happen for a reason. Because baby, tonight is gonna be the last night that y'all see it. Jay, I'm so sorry, but you ain't gotta worry about it. Tonight's the last night that we use that. But I gotta bring Jason up, baby. I gotta bring him up, baby. Here we go. There go Jason.
Yeah. What up, though? Was good. Was good. Hope all is well. How you holding up?
Disobedient. I've been disobedient. They told me to change it, and I didn't change it. And look
Not
how God made
disobedient.
things work.
That part. That part.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
what up, though? Welcome in, everybody. We see everybody in the chat with us hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that y'all hit them like buttons. Let's make sure we get them hearts and thumbs up in the corner for us. So that's the first and foremost. How you holding up, Peachy?
I'm good. I'm good, baby. I am 2 days away from my birthday, baby.
Birthday. That
About
part.
to be 45. Joint.
Say the young, not the big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel it. I love
I
it.
tell people all the time, you know, don't be afraid to say your age. Do
Oh,
not be
man.
afraid to say your age, especially if you look as good as me, baby. Shout
Oh,
out.
shit. Not
Get off there. Boom, boom, boom.
big flex.
Yeah.
Big
You know what I'm
flex.
saying?
Oh.
So it's okay to tell your age. Okay. And plus, at the end of the day, God blessed me to be here a little bit longer. So that's the real deal. That's why you should be able to tell your age.
That
God
part,
bless
that part. What up, though? Carmen just set in the building. We see y'all. Hey, first and foremost, man, make sure that you guys are following us on all the platforms. If you haven't yet, please go over to Twitch. Please go over to YouTube. Please go over to Facebook, Twitter, all of those. Make sure you hit that follow button. That's number one, right? Once you hit the follow button, go ahead and hit the like button because you're going to see that we live, right? We're live right now. Say what up, though, in the chat so we can give you a shout out, just like how we did with Carmen, just like how we did with Chrissy, Josette, and so many more that's going to come in here tonight. Next, please make sure that you are following us on YouTube. That is a must. And if you haven't, then hit that bell notification. You know what I mean? So when we do go live, you know exactly when and where we are turning up because it's every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday that it is going down here on PGT Time. So if you catch us here on Wednesday, especially, know that you can also get us over on Roku. So if you have a Roku enabled TV and or device, then go ahead and find the app, not just something else, just regular, but an app, just like how you find Netflix, Hulu, all of those different ones. You're going to look for PGT Time, and that's time spelled with the Y, TYME. So then that way you can watch us on the TV. Now, if you miss it, dope thing is with the PGT Time app, you can definitely go back and watch all the previous shows. Like last week, had a really dope show with Pooley up and everyone at the studio. So I mean, you'll be able to catch all the families that we were with. So again, make sure you get the Roku app. That's PGT Time. Time spelled YTYME. You already know the vibes, man. Stop playing with us.
Don't play with us. Don't play with us. Don't play with us. Don't play with us. I ain't playing with y'all, so don't play with us. I got a huge announcement. Baby. It is coming on Friday, the day of my birthday. Yes. You know, I be dropping some bombs, baby. I bring it, baby. I bring it. So I'm telling y'all now. No bombs. But I'm telling y'all now, you don't want to miss this announcement. You don't want to miss it. So make sure y'all tune in on Friday, okay? Now, before we bring up our guest, baby, when I tell y'all my guest, I'm so excited for y'all to see him. He has been on this platform once before. Jay has also interviewed me on his platform, you know, to help me get more followers. You know, you got some YouTubers out there, Jason, that won't even mess with you. They won't even respond back to you, you know, unless you got a certain amount of numbers and everything. But not Jay. Not Jay. Jay ran my my commercial on his platform just as well. And didn't ask me for a dime. You know what I'm saying? And I just been very supportive of him. He's been very supportive of me. And I am so glad to have him here tonight. But first, gotta play this clip. Just so y'all know just a little bit what y'all finna deal with tonight. Okay? So here we go.
Before I start being too disparaging about the picture that you guys see on my screen, I got to give you a disclaimer. I tend to be really harsh against people who hurt, murder, and abuse children. So hopefully everybody understands that. I don't feel any sympathy for them. I hope you don't either. Please remember to keep those babies in your prayers. We cannot make an excuse for bad parenting. This is going to be a situation. I don't want to hear an excuse from anybody. I want y'all to hear the details of this story. It's a little bit gut wrenching, but I do have an opinion. The details are really, really just drastic. Like, you just have to ask, like, what kind of fool would do something like this to kids? And this is why I continue to keep bringing this content to our channel, because I want people to really, really wake up.
What type of fool? I love that part. Well, y'all, I can't wait. I cannot wait for this show. I cannot wait. I can't wait. We are about to bring up DJ Just J, AFC Podcast, my friend, my mentor, Just J, baby.
What's going on? What up? What up? What up?
What's goody? What is goody in your city, baby? Is it good over there on your block?
Hey, everything is good. Any day above ground is a great day. It's a blessing and it's an honor. So shout out to both of you guys. Thank y'all for having me. I definitely appreciate being here.
Oh, that's just
Absolutely,
so nice,
man. Absolutely.
That is so nice. So did you like the first clip, baby? Did you like that clip?
I am humbled, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I get kind of nervous because I don't know if I've ever told you this, but before I start any live stream, because I'm a DJ, also I'm a professional mobile DJ. Anytime before I get ready to start a gig, I always get nervous. There's that nervous energy, so I love it, and it just lets me know that I'm alive. So I'm grateful.
Man, I wouldn't have never thought in a million years
Every
that you
time.
get nervous right
No, I
before
feel
the
like
show.
facts. Facts.
I
Every
wouldn't have
time.
never thought that. I
Yep.
get nervous. I'll be excited.
Mhm.
I'll be so
Wow.
damn excited. I can't wait to start. Can't
That
wait to
part.
start. Yes, I saw Carmen. Shout out to Carmen. Carmen sent me a little message in my messenger. She said, "Oh shoot, we starting on time." Yes, we are, Carmen. That's one of the other things that DJ Just J, as my mentor, has always told me. Start on time. Start on time. If you have a scheduled time, start on time. So I had to start on time for him tonight. I had to. It was a must. So Jay, let everybody know a little bit about Just Jay. Now they've been seeing my whole little go DJ, go DJ. So
Yeah, I
let them know.
appreciate the promo. That's what's up.
Yes, let them know about you.
Well, first and foremost, DJ Just J, I represent the AFC podcast, which a lot of people still don't know. I guess I don't brand it well enough. Advocates for Children. That means we're going to speak about, bring attention to, bring light to the plight that's going on with our children and our babies out here in this world. So before, in my personal opinion, before I will ever talk about a celebrity news story, I will make sure and dedicate my time and my energy to talking about what I believe is our most important resource, our children. They depend on us for everything that they get. So I think it's our responsibility as adults to not only make sure and do that at home, but do that also responsibly in social media. So that's where I stand.
Oh my goodness. Y'all go follow. Go follow. AFC Podcast, go follow him. He just did that so well. But yes. And that's one of the reasons why I started following you just as well. When I went over there and started watching your platform, I saw all the kids, that was being murdered, raped, whatever. It's always something bad happening to them. But you dig down deep. And that's what I like about your show. Over here on PEACHY Time, everybody do their platform differently.
Right.
Because everybody's different. And over here on PEACHY Time, you don't know what you're going to come across. You just don't know what you're going to get coming over here, except for when we had the families. You know what I'm saying? But with DJ Just J, he literally would take a subject, a topic, and he would dig down deep, do his research. How long does it take for you to do research for one story?
I'll tell you this. It takes as long as it takes. And I know that might be a cliche thing to say without giving you a direct answer.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that what we put out is accurate. I want to make sure that people have an understanding about the message that I'm trying to convey, and however long it takes, it could take anywhere from an hour. I had a story one time that took me 8 days to put one story together.
Oh my God.
And guess what? that story has stood the test of time because I think I did it about 4 years ago on a guy, and y'all can look this up. Well, let me not say the name right now. I don't want to jinx myself. So, but there was a guy that I had put his information out there, and come to find out, every bit of it was accurate because I mean they were not releasing anything in the media, from the police, from the courts. I ended up having to call down to the city where this incident happened. It happened at a hotel with a little kid. And I called around to surrounding businesses that might have known or heard some things. And everything that I put together throughout that whole 8-day period ended up being worth it. Wasn't my most viral video, but nonetheless, it was still worth it because everything I put out was accurate.
Beautiful.
So
man.
however long it takes.
Yeah.
Now, you have also been, I want to say, like, broadcasted on other different platforms too, like the news, like that, in the local news, that is.
Okay.
As far as AFC podcast, tell us a little bit about that.
As far as like they've talked about my channel, or I've been.
Yes.
Okay, so there was a situation, and I got to give them a big shout out because they just shouted me out on their social media. But I have a couple of friends that I've made friends with through a case that I spoke about, from a little girl by the name of Billy Simone Williams out of Stockton, California. You guys can look that up. It's a very important story, and it's actually about to be very relevant here by next month because they're going to start the court process. And you're talking about almost 3 years that have passed since this little girl was what we believe to be murdered. And I do this story just like every story that I do. I will try to reach out to family members if I can. And I was lucky enough in this situation that they saw it, they shared it, they got in the chat, started typing. I was like, you know what, while I have y'all here, why don't y'all come up and come tell me what it is that you know about this story? They talked, they spoke, and I was able to get some interest in the stepmother, the other party in this story, because the biological father was arrested. He's married to a young lady who's not the biological mother, and she was basically kind of just sitting in the cut, I guess, kind of giving her information to the police and investigators. And she saw the story, and she's like, wait a minute, like, why are these people talking about me and making it seem like I had something to do with this? So she ended up reaching out to me, and it's kind of a long story. I'll make it as short as possible. She reached out. We came to an agreement that she would come on to my platform, just give her side of the story. I tried not to ask as many questions because I come from the customer service world, where I believe that the best information you can collect is when you let people just give it to you, rather than leading them. And you can ask questions, kind of open-ended questions, and just let people kind of just speak on their own. But it ended up being worth it because apparently it was vital enough information that they were able to make an additional arrest actually against her. So that's a case that we actually, as the AFC, we can put, and when people ask, like, what does your platform do? What does the AFC do? Like, y'all just sit there and you just talk trash and you make money off of dead babies and this and that. And that's not actually the case at all. We put our livelihood, our face at risk, potentially, like, your family could turn against you on your point of view, depending on what it is that you talk about. If you got a baby mama, what? Are you serious? You know what I'm saying? So you could imagine the type of things that you could be up against for speaking your mind, especially here in the cancel culture. But nonetheless, that ended up working out to our favor in order to make an additional arrest in this story, because I want every accountable party to be arrested when these babies are hurt, because anybody who has access to these children, it's their responsibility to make sure that if you see something, say something. Exactly. If you don't say nothing, I think your ass needs to be in jail for not saying something if a child meets their demise or if they are hurt or injured. But nonetheless, they ended up talking about this story, believe it or not, in the news. So I like to tell the story because it's kind of full circle. So the news of Stockton, California ended up doing a piece about the story that happened with her, and they ended up talking about my podcast, and my podcast was talking about the story in the news. So the news was doing a story about the podcast doing a story about the news.
Full circle. Now, how long have you been doing AFC podcast?
I've been doing the AFC podcast right at 5 years now. And I got to give a shout out to my original mentor, Tommy Sotomayor. And some of you guys may or may not know Tommy, but I got to tell you, easily one of my biggest influences, such an amazing supporter, an amazing brother. And if you dig below the surface, I mean, you're just talking about somebody who is just very insightful about so much stuff. But not only was I interested, but I always wanted to kind of participate and kind of give my opinion, because I've always had strong opinions. But to hear a black man get on these airways in front of the public and really just put everything on the line based on his beliefs, I'm like, you know what? I think we all need to find a purpose. And I think the purpose of life is to find your purpose. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to do anything in life, I would say that my purpose is to give back. If I've done enough wrong, the least I could do is do some right in this world before my time is up.
There you go. There you go.
Solid, man. I love that. Solid.
Jason, do you know Tommy Sotomayor?
I do not.
How
No.
you pronounce his last name, Jay?
Sotomayor.
Sotomayor. I used to watch him years ago, because y'all know I've been on this YouTube journey, you know, not PGT time, but just been on the YouTube journey for a very long time, many years. And I used to follow him, and I used to sit there and I would listen to him, and I'd be like, dang, he telling the truth. He really telling the truth. And then you look in the comments and they going off on this man. They like really going off on him because he's giving his opinion, you know. And I feel like everybody got a right to their opinion.
Yes,
if you want to give your opinion, you get on somebody's platform or you start your own platform.
Your own platform, yeah.
You get your opinion. It's that easy, you know. Jason, you got any questions for? Because you a DJ over there, SCTV Radio.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't say DJ, man. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? I'm a conductor of buttons, you know what I mean? I conduct, right. I don't do none of that.
Oh, man, you can't do no beat juggling, man.
No beat juggling, no blending, no none of that. It is a rap.
Okay.
I got a good ear for it though. I got a good ear for the sound of music, man. No, so beyond having an opinion and really wanted to like advocate for children, what like I'm hearing that those are the prime reasons for you to start the AFC podcast. Was this just a self-driven journey, or is there like a team behind you that really was like, you know what, let's come together and make this happen?
Well, it's kind of hard to say it wasn't a team, because like I said, I come from participating in panels, especially when I was dealing with my brother Tommy Sotomayor and his platform. So in all actuality, there was a lot of supporters there initially. So I didn't have to start from zero. You understand what I'm saying? But in order to kind of build what I have now, I definitely took a different turn as far as like I knew, like I like a lot of structure. Mm-hmm. And the people that I was having on my panels at the time really like free flowing, just talk about whatever comes up and just spend endless amounts of time talking about things that I'm just like, you know what, that shouldn't be a priority. You know what I mean? So instead of trying to force feed people something that I wanted and what I saw, I decided to say, you know what, here's what I want to do. And I'm just going to just start with a clean slate and just kind of go from there. And so one of the first stories that really caught my attention was a story by the name of Anaya Day Garrett out of Cuyahoga County, Ohio. So if you guys are familiar with Cleveland and that area, in my humble opinion, it is one of the worst places to get stories from. And you can, like, if you ever were looking for child abuse stories, look in Cuyahoga County. Like, they have to have some of the worst stories. But that little girl and her father's story had me crying during my live stream. I was doing a live stream and I broke down because I'm like, what in the world is going on here? You know what I mean? And to just hear what this mother and boyfriend did, Sierra Day and Deontay Lewis, and I'm bad with names, I'm real bad with my memory, but I don't forget that story. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the first key stories where I said, I'm going to do stories like this from here on out. Gotcha. To watch how a biological father can fight for custody. A mother will fight him to make sure that he does not get custody, and then turn around and cause the death of this child in spite of the father. And I'm like, what was the purpose of that? So you absolutely must have hated this child. And if you hate this child, why would you go through all of this to create this child? Go through, like, you know what women go through with childbirth and getting pregnant and all the prenatal stuff and back pains and titties falling all over the place and stretch marks and dilating by 10 centimeters, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I actually saw my daughter's mom have a baby. That's not something I want to go through no more. Shout out to my daughter's mama. But nonetheless, I was a father that was there for my kids. You understand? So for me, I'm like, I get it. Totally get it. And I'm like, why would you go through all of that just to not give a damn about your kid?
Exactly. I agree 100%. Now there's something that you always say on your show. If I don't remember nothing else, I'm gonna always remember #babies for benefits.
I would
And
love
I
to explain
told
that.
them that we was gonna discuss that on the show tonight. So please, can you let everyone know what that means, and also where did you get it from? Why did you feel comfortable enough to be able to make this a hashtag?
Okay, so here's the thing. The way that my brain works is I will think a lot of things, and I've gotten to a point where I started doing my podcast where I would just say these things out loud because they make sense in my head, but a lot of times you tend to kind of second guess yourself. Isn't that the way that life works? You know, with a lot of things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like you will end up not doing something because you're just like, damn, I'm second guessing myself. I'm not sure. So I just had the confidence to just say, you know what? People might not like what I think or like how I view things, but I'm just going to say it. And that was one of those times where I don't know exactly the first time I ever used it. It was years ago, but it's absolutely a hashtag that I created. #babies for benefits, because I said it seems like a lot of these parents, and initially I was getting on to the mothers quite a bit. So I was really going at the ladies pretty hard, but that I've kind of smoothed that out a little bit and started to get a lot more even as far as my distribution of my vitriol, like using my big words, by the way.
All right,
But
well, $10 word right there.
I have a lot of hashtags, and that's one of them, babies for benefits, because I believe that parents like these who hurt, murder, and abuse children clearly don't love them. And if they don't love them, then why are they having them? Why are they producing them? Oh, that's right, because they're getting things for them. Section 8 food stamps, car vouchers, whether it be child support, whatever, or even if you wanted to collect child support from a man or have control over a man, maybe they do it for attention. Believe it or not, there are a lot of mothers and women because they have control over this whole gestation process. Once the man releases his seed, the man is no longer in the equation. It is all up to the woman at that point. So in all actuality, when these children come into this world, it is based on the whatever the reason that the mother brought them into this world. So it's not all. That's another thing. Then that's when the TYME created #not all, right? Because it's sad that we have to speak generally and people are like, well, it wasn't my cousin's situation wasn't like that. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. What about these 13,000 other motherfuckers that excuse my language, that I'm talking about? Like y'all act like this is not a big deal. Like this is not a big thing. And it absolutely is.
It is, yeah.
So of course it's like it should be insinuated. Of course, not all. But in too many situations, these people are having children for reasons other than trying to create a legacy, raise them up into becoming something great. What is that reason? And these is where my hashtags are born from. I got some other ones too if you want me to go at them.
Yeah, you're going to have to give us some more during the show.
A lot more hashtags.
It's a must. But before we get back, we're going to come back. We're going to talk some more to Just Jay. But y'all know how we do over here on Peach Tea Time. Here it is. Y'all, it's a big old mosquito in here. Let me tell y'all about last night, though. I went outside. Okay, our washing dryer is in our garage. I hate it. I cannot stand that it's in the garage. So I'm in the garage trying to get the clothes and put them inside the washer and everything. And I was like, let me turn around. And it was a spider. I swear to God, that spider seemed like it was about this big. And Poolie said, now, I told Poolie, I said, Poolie, you're going to have to go out there and get the spider. Poolie was sitting down in the middle eating dinner. I said, you're going to have to get the spider. He looked at me. I looked at him. And he was like, what? I said, you're going to have to go get the spider. Because if you don't go get the spider, I'll never go back out there again and wash clothes. I will never go back out there again. Now, I'm going to stop this story right here because I definitely want y'all to come back on Friday. Because Poolie is going to reenact. He don't know it yet. But he going to reenact how he killed this spider. And when I tell y'all, it's the funniest shit ever. I really didn't want to put that out there. But y'all know how we is over here at Peach Tea Time, especially loving relationships. We're very transparent, and we try to tell y'all what the real deal is. And he is going to reenact how he killed the spider. And I'm telling y'all gonna be in tears laughing. But until then, let's go ahead and watch this clip, baby. Y'all ready to go to Chipotle? I love Chipotle. Here we go.
Come to light today at a shooting at a Southfield Chipotle. The shooting left one employee shot in the knee and one man in handcuffs.
Yep. Police released new surveillance and body camera footage showing exactly what happened. Let's bring in Will Jones, who's in the newsroom, to break this down. Will, this all started, believe it or not, over guacamole, apparently.
Devin and Karen, it's hard to understand how a dispute over a serving of guacamole could escalate into a shooting, but that's exactly what happened. And keep in mind that this Chipotle is right across the street from the Southfield Police Department.
Southfield police say last Friday evening, 32-year-old Aaron Brown of Detroit called a Chipotle female employee a derogatory name. They say he was upset about his serving of guacamole. Brown is then seen on surveillance video going around the counter, packing up his order along with some guacamole. When a worker tries to stop him, Brown attacks him. Shortly after that, police say Brown fires a shot, hitting a 21-year-old employee in the knee.
The occupants inside of the Chipotle began to run for safety, exit the restaurant, while Mr. Brown calmly collected his food and left.
Police say Brown drove off with his wife from this Chipotle on Evergreen. Brown was taken into custody not long after the shooting.
Add the fact this happened right across the street from the police station. So what's the nerve of that? And you think you're going to get away with it?
Police say Brown had a valid permit for the gun. He's now charged with assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, weapons, discharge in or at a building causing injury, and possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony.
That's why we have to take these gun crimes very serious in this country, because these individuals are getting a hold of these weapons. They're not understanding the importance of knowing when you use a weapon. Use a weapon for a life-threatening encounter. This certainly was not a life-threatening encounter.
As you saw in the video inside that Chipotle, the restaurant was pretty busy at the time. Southfield Police Chief Elvin Barron emphasized that others could have easily been hurt in this shooting. Fortunately, there were no other injuries. Karen?
Well, how is the victim doing tonight?
Police say that bullet struck the worker in the knee, Karen, and exited out of his calf. There is concern about possible long-term damage to his knee, but everyone is hoping that that won't be the case.
I sure hope so.
Okay, let me say this right quick. First and foremost, it wouldn't have been no Miss Peachy rolled off with Pooh. Baby, I wouldn't even been in the car. Now, 9 out of 10, all the Chipotles look alike. Okay? You can't help but to see a fight inside of Chipotle. I don't care if you is waiting in your car or if you in there, you gonna see this fight. There is no way I would have rolled off with Pooley and he done shot somebody. Because I'm thinking they coming after me too. I don't care if he did just get shot in the knee, side, whatever. I'm not riding with nobody that's shooting somebody. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. This is crazy. This is crazy. Jay, what you feel about that?
Jason, you want to go first, bro? Because
man.
I got some rather inflammatory things to say, and
Hey,
I
look, man.
want to make sure that you don't have no part in what I'm about to say.
Thanks. Man, big shout out to Pooley. What do you say is mental health, man? Because
guacamole, baby.
Something over guacamole, man. I mean, granted, I can see how it went. My man was like, bitch, just give me some guacamole. And she was like, sir, you can't talk to me like that. Don't be calling me out, man. Fuck this. And he walked around and got his own guac. You know what I'm saying?
Do you go to Chipotle?
Do I go? Their guacamole is not that good.
But do you
Not
go
for me to
there?
catch no
So you
case.
do go there quite often.
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't say quite often. Probably
Not quite often?
once every 2 months.
Okay, Jay, do you go to Chipotle?
Qdoba.
Oh, okay. Qdoba is like a Chipotle.
Yes,
okay.
Qdoba is definitely better in my opinion. Chipotle is a bit overrated.
Okay, I love Chipotle. If I go out of town somewhere and they have a Chipotle, I don't want to try nothing else. I'd rather go to Chipotle. And I always get the same thing, which is the bowl. Now, for everybody out there that's watching, if you get the bowl and you go to Chipotle, I'm telling you now, especially if you are black, if you are one of us, they never put enough. You always got to tell them, can you put a little bit more? Can you put a little bit more? Can you put a little bit more? No matter what it is, you got to ask them for a little bit more. Then when you get to the meat, they gonna tell you, well, is you gonna pay for a double? Now, depending on if I got paid that day, you know, I'd be like, yeah, make it a double. Go make because I don't want to look like I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about this. And I feel like all Black folks got mental health issues. You just don't know if you got it or you do got it. So if you got it, you know
it's not like a cold,
and
yo.
it ain't came out yet. So if I did have mental health issues, they would definitely say I had it when I go to Chipotle. Because I get so angry. I do. I get mad. Like, I have to get a double because I want a little bit more. And then when it get to the guac, I don't want my guac, like, everything has to be perfect. So I kind of understand. I don't understand him shooting. I don't understand it. But I do understand that you done got mad over some guac. I understand that, Jason. I'm sorry, but I do understand. Because they will
You gotta
you
be
off.
sorry. That guac ain't that good. But I'm not a guac fan either. But nonetheless, right? It's the point of the words that exchange. My man's had a long day, and that's when you don't go outside, bro. Like at the end of the day, it's stupidity, man. Like you got everything.
And the point is, they ain't paying for that guac. They're not paying for the guac. Give me some more guac.
You ready to hear my
Why
perspective?
do I have to pay 25 cents extra for some doggone chicken nugget sauce? Just give it to me. You ain't paying for it. Okay, go ahead, Jay.
I'm gonna actually address what you just said. That's very interesting, especially from our group of people who spend the most amount of money on shit that don't fucking matter. Red bottoms, Ferragamo, Gucci, but let me not pay no 50 cents for no extra guacamole. Oh my God, like somebody's gotta die. Matter of fact, I want you to think about this. How much is a black life worth? How much is a black life worth?
It's
$1 of guacamole. That's what a black life is worth.
That's what it's
I want you to think about how many times you have heard of niggas getting shot over a bucket of chicken at these house parties and things like that. I'm like, are we really following into these stereotypes and things like that? It's funny how people want to get mad about stereotypes, but they don't matter unless you live up to them.
Unless you live up to them.
Why do we live up to them? It's beyond me. But nonetheless, that's kind of my take on that. And another thing, the fact that this man can get that excitable rather than say, you know what, I'm going to boss up, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we always talking about, we bosses, we kings and queens. Like, you know what, I could buy I could buy this whole Chipotle, but I can't buy just some extra and just be happy. Just understand that these people are working in a lot of these situations just above minimum wage, probably are not able to pay their bills properly, right? Going from check to check, but yet they understand that they have a quota that they have to meet. There's only so much of that stuff that they can give away based on this business being able to survive. I've actually watched businesses and work for people like I don't know if y'all have ever heard of like a Quiznos. It was kind of like
we from up top.
Okay, so check it out. So you know why most of the Quiznos had to close, right?
Why?
Because in order for these people to be franchisees, they were allowed to use the name, they were allowed to use the vendors, but their profit margin was so small that if you started losing product, you couldn't stay in business at all. And almost the majority of them ended up just losing their entire investment. So you can understand what that's like in this world where the only way that you can make it is in order to own your own, to be a business owner. So imagine what that's like to try to be a business owner in whatever capacity it is, and you're constantly having people just nickel and dime you to death. None of us like to be done that way. So why in the hell do we do that to other people?
Okay, Jay,
it make it seem like it's insignificant.
Okay, but you're talking about a business owner, as a business owner. I'm talking about the ones that act like they don't even want to be at work. They stealing themselves. They giving their friends free food when they come through the doggone drive-thru. And then you gonna turn around and charge me an extra 50 cents for some sauce? No, that's
but again, I think that's a part of picking our battles to either win the war or lose the war. right? And I think that's one of those situations where if you want to pick a battle, that's not the one to pick. Pay it.
I agree.
Move on.
I agree.
What? Do you know the power of writing a letter to corporate?
Oh man, you got free guac for a year, bro. All right.
Look, one time, because out here in Texas, we got Papados. If you've never been to Papados, you should check it out. But there was one time I had a hell of an issue, and I would have loved to have acted a nigger in that place, right? The NIGGR. The NIGGR. I would have loved to have acted every bit of my ancestors, right? But I didn't, and I said, you know what? Because it's not worth it. What am I going to gain from that? What is our image as people going to look like, right?
Exactly.
So what I did, I decided to write out all of my grievances in a letter and send it. And guess what they sent me back? A big ass gift card. My issue is fixed. And not only that, do you think that they're not going to train their employees? Because the last thing that they want to do is continue to lose profit in that manner. So yes, absolutely, they're going to take that serious. Here's what this person said. Here's what y'all did. This is what we cannot have any more of.
No more.
There are ways of going about handling things. Walking behind the counter is already an aggressive move as it is. And I'm sorry, because, you walk up on me like that, there's a chance that we're probably going to end up in a physical altercation. So don't walk up on me, because I'm going to take that as an act of aggression. So again, you have to ask, what was this all for?
Right.
So for me, and this is part of where Jason and Peachy, where people don't like me and they don't like my platform, don't like what I have to say, because they're like, do you know what they're going to say? Jay, it's not that serious. It's not that, for you to look that deeply into it, it's not that serious. And I'm like, I absolutely think it is, because you have to dive in the psychology of people and ask, why are they behaving this way? Because if you cannot get to the root of that, you're just going to sit there and just be lost in this world.
I agree 100%. And since I have been doing PGT time, it's kind of like therapy to me just as well. Jason, I tell you that all the time. I learned from PGT time. I have calmed down myself a whole lot. I remember it was times where Poolie probably hated to go out with me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always popping off, just always getting angry about something. But then I started watching PGT time. And I started seeing that these niggas don't care. They will kill and shoot you over some hot sauce, over anything.
Real quick.
Like Jay said, choose your battles, basically. Choose your battles. Is it worth it over some guac? No.
And imagine how on edge people are when they're on the verge of not being able to pay their bills. Their car might be repossessed. Their lights might be about to get cut off. They're waiting on this next check to come in. Their kids need stuff that they can't afford to purchase. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they have a nagging significant other at home. Like, they could be going through relationship troubles. Considering the fact that most marriages end up in divorce anyway, you could imagine all of the people out there that are just having so many emotional issues, and you don't really know what you're walking into.
Exactly.
So I'm all about preservation. As a Black man, why would you demonstrate that level of force, that level of demonstrative behavior, knowing our culture, knowing who's behind? You can see the people behind the counter. Pretty sure they weren't Black. I don't know if they were, if they weren't. But nonetheless, it's on camera, and they will call them police on you in a minute. And what do you think that they're going to think when they say, yes, this Black man came behind the counter and now there's a fight ensuing. Now there are bullets flying. But yet we keep saying, like, the police are not handling us in the right way and this and that. If we have this as evidence, then why do we continue to do the same things to get us the same result?
There you go.
And definition of insanity.
Oh,
exactly.
That part.
Exactly. Now we're gonna show the second clip to this. Jay said that he didn't know, if they was white, Black. Well, Jay, we in the D. So these folks right here, after y'all see this clip, we know they Black.
First tonight, we begin with breaking news. A shooting with a motive hard to believe. Thank you so much for joining us for 7 Action News at 11. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. Shots rang out at a Chipotle in Southfield, putting a worker in the hospital.
Phone video sent to us by Southfield Police shows the commotion inside the restaurant on Evergreen near 10 Mile Road. The chief telling us there was some sort of dispute over guacamole. 21-year-old employee ended up getting shot in the leg.
Unbelievable. Now, we're told he's in stable condition at the hospital with a non-life-threatening wound to the leg. The suspect took off after the shooting, but Southfield police found the 32-year-old man and took him into custody. The investigation's ongoing.
They acted a damn fool in there. But they, they were trying to protect their peoples. So they all jumped in. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when the shots start ringing out. Hey, Tanea.
See, in my mind, yo, on some realness, on some real life type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never that important to me, right? So if he'd have walked behind that counter, I'd have just backed up and let him do him. And everybody else should have did that too, because then he let him walk out. Hey, look, that's wild. That's crazy. He gonna be caught on camera. Don't let him back in. But yeah, it's the altercation that caused it, right? Whoever the cook was or whoever that person was that came from the back decided to make stop from being back here and, kind of like push him or get him out of the way, when that's not your job to do that. Your job is not to be security of or do any of those things in Chipotle, because now Chipotle is going to have to, fork over some bread or do nothing, because that's part of their policy is not to, cause issues. So now, not only do this man go to jail for X amount of times because all of the rules that he broke, laws that he broke, now this young person that got shot in the knee might not get any kind of reparation from this situation due to the policies and procedures that the McDonald's corporation has in line.
Exactly.
So my world, it's not that important. It's not that big. Let that motherfucker get. Look, man, this, like y'all been saying, this ain't y'all stuff. Go ahead and run them up that extra little bit of dump. Look, you see that I am 6'4". He probably 6 foot something, big dude. Get him extra, you know what I'm saying? Hit him with that right there and keep it moving.
It's a lot of us that are never taught customer service. Just look, they teach, like where I came up. When I came up, they taught us to be intuitive in the customer service world. In a situation like that, in order to prevent that level of BS, might go ahead and dump a little bit of extra in there. That way we can de-escalate all of this.
All of it.
I'll tell you, if they come in there looking like Jason, when I saw Jason get out that car last year, I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks, may I add. But when Jason got out that car, if they came looking like that, baby, I would be like, here you go. Here you go. I would have thought he was crazy, first of all, when he came behind the counter. You know what I'm saying? I would have thought he was crazy. I would have been over there on my phone calling 911. This man finna hurt us because he done came behind the counter. People don't just come behind the counter, like Jay said. They just don't come behind the counter unless they ready to fight. So I would have been calling 911 if they look like Jason.
Let me tell you something also. Like I know we don't talk about fathers a lot in our society, but let me say this. As me having a father, and shout out to my dad, I'll probably show this to him on the replay. If I were in that situation, my dad has always held me accountable. It has actually probably saved my life in ways that I probably don't even still understand to this day. But if I were in that employee situation and told this story to my dad, and this fight broke out and somebody got shot in the knee, and he asked, well, how did we get there? And I tell him the story, you know what he would have told me? Why didn't you, why did you allow it to get to that point? If that's all they're asking for, just either A, give it to him, or B, go get a manager real quick. But the onus would have been put on me, and I understand it a lot more now, especially with me being a father. But there are just so many opportunities for all of us to learn and use these situations as cautionary tales, like I like to say. And this is what we shouldn't be doing. This is what shouldn't be on the news. Like, don't get mad that the news talked about it. Don't get mad because white folks are like, look, these black folks out here acting like monkeys again. Don't get mad about that if you're portraying the behavior that makes people say that, because it's not conducive to our society. Like what if this man is a father? Guarantee you he probably is. If he's anything over 30 years old, how is he going to help his kids in jail?
He not.
Over what? How do you explain that to your children? Let's see. I'm in jail over some goddamn guacamole. Ain't that something? You know why I wasn't able to pay for your field trip over some freaking guacamole. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now
why I couldn't be there at Christmas I'm just
That
saying,
part.
like, come on.
But I'll take it a step further, right? Because now they're going to perpetuate the same thing that's always being perpetuated in these kind of communities, is that the police ain't shit. They took your father, they put him in jail, don't trust the cops, this, that, and the other, because of his inadequacies on being able to just take what he's receiving or buying for the guacamole. Now it's the kids gonna have issues with it because now we don't have we don't have his father around. You feel me? I feel that in my heart. Like that's what's gonna kind of keep that cycle moving around.
I remember back like way back in the day. You know what I'm saying, man? Pooh been married for 16 years, to be 17 years this year, and we've been together for 25 years. And I remember when we was very, very young. You know, I couldn't see Poolie doing this now, but when we were very young, living together in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Poolie decides to go into the liquor store, and they were selling chicken. They were selling chicken, but they were selling all this little other stuff too. You know, right up there at the counter and everything. And Poolie goes in. He's the only person in there. We all outside, a whole bunch of us. We were getting ready to go somewhere. 2 carloads of people. We crunk. We young. We drinking. I'm be honest. And we probably was smoking too. Ain't no telling. And next thing I know, Poolie locked inside the store. Look, he like, don't sell. He locked inside the store. And I'm like, why they locking inside the store? I go up there. We weren't even married. But baby, you would have thought we was. I go up there. I'm banging on the window. Let my boyfriend out. Let my boyfriend out. Baby, by the time they let Poolie out that door, they unlocked the door. They ain't called the police, thank God. But I mean, all of us were just banging on the door. We asked Poolie what happened. Poolie said his little piece of chicken tender, whatever it was, it wasn't hot enough. So he decides to throw it in the man's face.
Damn.
Threw it in his face and thought he was gonna get away. He could have shot Poolie right there.
But you know what? Let me say this. I think it's actually important for us to hear those stories. If we live through them, survive it, we are now older and wiser.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the stories we should hear. And I remember people saying like, why do you go so hard on criminals and things like that? And or even talking about gangs. I'm like, I actually would be the perfect person if I come from that world to speak against it. Because I want people to learn from my experience. Because what did they say about wise people? Wise people will learn from the mistakes of others. A fool will learn from their own mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can absolutely learn from other people's mistakes if they make them. And I think those are the type of things that we absolutely should share.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% on that. I agree with you 100%. Now, I'm going to go into this next clip, okay? This one is called Lock 'em Up. Jay, you're going to have a lot that you're going to want to say about this. I already know. You going to go in. But here we go.
Right now, we are learning new details about an arrest in Beach Grove after a shooting injured 2 young girls inside their apartment.
Yeah, you may remember this happened back in February. Well, now, weeks later, we are getting some new edited body camera footage. Our Karen Campbell's live in Beach Grove this afternoon with how police track the suspects down. Karen?
Hey there, Jenny and Dustin. You know, these court documents lay out how Beach Grove police captured and arrested those 3 suspects that, you know, caused all of this fear and chaos at Parkview Apartments on the morning of February 15th. Now, police say the 3 males, they drove up in a vehicle, got out, fired more than 50 shots into an apartment, injuring a 7-year-old and a 15-year-old girl, again, causing fear in that community. Well, police later found that vehicle and began their pursuit.
1050 Richard Southeastern. We got 2 bailing. We got 3 running northbound on Emerson.
Beach Grove police would eventually arrest 2 of the 3 suspects hours after that shooting. Officers say one of the suspects, Scotrion Nelson, discarded a gun as he was running away. A gun that matched ballistics for shell casings recovered from the shooting scene. A scene detectives say they found 76 total fired shell casings. Neighbors' surveillance cameras also help police identify the suspects. Witnesses told police one of the suspects, Jamar Johnson, even posted a video on social media holding what appears to be a gun. Police say in the video, Johnson says to stop messing with his brother. Investigators also say they took DNA evidence of Johnson and Holloway and say the guns and clothing found inside of the vehicle also matched what appeared on neighbors' cameras. Johnson and Holloway were both charged with felonies. Police say they have a search warrant out for Nelson's arrest. Yeah, and off camera, neighbors told us that they're thankful for at least 2 of those 3 arrests. They hope that those 2 little girls are doing okay. Now, police have told us the 7-year-old was shot in the ankle. She had to have surgery, and she's been on crutches ever since. The 15-year-old, they say she's doing okay. But again, for both of these girls, it's still a traumatizing event. Dustin, Jenny?
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, Karen, thank you.
I'm going to let you and Jason had this one. Let the grown men speak. The grown men speak.
So why did they shoot this place up? Maybe I'm missing it.
Besides, they were some ignorant little kids, but they said to stop messing with their brother. That's all they said. Stop messing with my brother. And before you know it, the whole house done got shot up. And these 2 babies done got shot. They never get the one they supposed to get.
Never get the one.
They never get the ones they're supposed to get.
I definitely have something to say. You want to go, Jason?
No, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but we live in the United States of America where they say that it's the white man that I should fear.
Mm-hmm.
But who is it that's really doing all the killing out here to our folks?
You better be scared of us.
who really is black people's worst enemy out here, really? Is it? We should be worried about what Donald Trump is about to do next to our country, right? That's what we should be worried about. We should be worried about these police who are coming out there to take some photos, pass some information, get some dangerous criminals off the street, right? That's what we should be. That's really where the threat is. Think about our music. And I'm sorry, I was last night kind of sorting through YouTube trying to find me something to watch before I go to sleep. It's kind of my nightly routine. Find me something, listen to it, go to sleep to it, whatever. And came across these music videos. I was like, okay, because I'm a DJ. I'm always looking for the next, whatever the next big thing is, so I can save it on my little playlist. And I heard these songs and I'm just like, you know what? Every time I turn around, we are talking about the murder of a nigga and shooting a nigga and killing a nigga and stabbing a nigga and running up on a nigga with a drum and this and that and such and such. I'll bury your mom and shoot your mom and kill your family. And I'm just like,
Perks it.
Jesus, like I'm thinking about, and it's funny. We only direct those type of words to our own. They don't direct those words to Jewish people. They don't direct those words to white folks, to Mexicans. Imagine them talking about they about to go shoot up the cartel. Well, cartel probably take care of that themselves. But imagine if they started making rap songs about the police. You don't think there would be a massive halt to that shit?
Exactly. They'll stop it instantly.
Imagine if all drill music was all about killing the enemy, the police, according to them. What do you think would happen? Think that would allow, you think that would be prosperous? You think they'd be getting booked for shows all over the country and buying big ass chains and watches and
look at NWA now. Every time they would go to try to do a show, the police be right there.
They said fuck the police, not kill the police. And got their shows shut down.
So did. And then here we come along and change the narrative on us. And they like,
and I continue to ask this. Why, what was it? Why did these black people need to die? Because I'm assuming if you pull out your gun, which I've taken gun training in Oklahoma and Texas, so you're accountable for every single round. I'm sorry, I got my gun right here all the time just because I don't trust folks, right? But for every round that leaves your weapon, you're held accountable for every single round that leaves that weapon. And you have to ask yourself, was your life at risk and danger? And why did they shoot? You see how many rounds they had out there?
76.
And you ended up shooting little girls. Why did those little girls need to die? Why did those black queens, put the crown on the head, why did those black queens need to die? Because ...
Yeah. I don't think they died though. Thank God they didn't die. One of them got shot in the leg. I think they said something like that.
One in the ankle, the 7-year-old
Yeah,
in the ankle, and then the other one they didn't disclose where. Right. But here's my thing, right? I agree with what you're saying wholeheartedly. Then we have to look at the fact of like, yo, how much nonsense are we gonna end up taking? Like, how much more nonsense can we take, right? Who are helping these children know that they are committing crimes by being on Facebook, YouTube with these guns that they don't have permits or nothing for? Why aren't the parents saying anything? Why aren't the close relatives that see them on there doing it? Why is none of them added to that? Why aren't the other friends that actually got a brain telling them like, dog, that's just stupid. Why are you even? Why? That's not cool. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's not cool. By any means is it cool to be pointing like who took the picture with the like all right, man, they got 2 big ass guns pointed at me and I'm gonna take the picture for them. Like,
hey, you're a DJ. You've seen them music videos.
I've seen these videos.
They got the Dracos pointed at the camera. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong line of work.
I watched one video. I said, how y'all get these? Where? He was like, man, they ain't real. I go, nigga, none of them have orange tips. None of them. None of these guns got orange tips. These are real. Come on, man. But even then, why are you portraying that visual that you have like artillery? You know what I'm saying? You have this is damn near U.S. Army grade artillery that you have in your hands with, that you're just moving around in these videos and doing all this crap. But then not only that, man, as young as they have to be, you walk up to a home and you put 76 rounds into a house.
You wanted everybody
76 rounds. Either you got a drum, most drums hold 50, but if you did 76 rounds, that's a few clips. That means they dropped it, popped back in, went back at it, dropped it, went back in, and you know what I'm saying? To hit nothing and shoot 2 little girls, and then put everything in your trunk and ride around the town.
They don't care. They just don't care.
You think they got fathers?
Yeah. They got fathers. They just in prison.
No, they had no fathers in their life. Fathers, mothers and fathers as nuclear families are not raising them to behave this way. That's not happening. What you have happening is a lot of these kids don't grow up with really any semblance of a parent at all. Yeah. So when you're asking why are they behaving this way, there's one thing that I've said, because they don't have an image of what they should grow up and become. So what is that thing that they're watching and that as they're coming up that they should grow up and become? So especially with this generation, they have a lot of social media and they're watching, these entertainers and things like that, but they don't have parents at home.
No.
Parenting is not putting clothes on your back, putting food on the table, and making sure that the lights stay on, and I pay your internet PlayStation bill. That's not being a fucking parent.
There you go.
They need to, like I grew up, they need to be watching Family Matters. They need to be watching Full House.
Who's the boss?
Cosby. That's what I seen families look like. That's what I'm like, man, why ain't these little kids? But instead they watching Power. You know what I'm saying? P-Valley. All these crazy ass shows, which causing this confliction in their mind that they think that that's real world that needs to be, you know what I'm saying, utilized in the real world. Like, this is not real. Like, no, everything that you do is not Call of Duty. This ain't Call of Duty, fam. There's no reboot button.
Exactly. I agree 100%. Jay, are there times that when you do these stories that you just get so overwhelmed and full and be like, you know what? I'm not going to do this no more. It's getting to me, all this death. Because I get people to ask me that all the time. Like, how can you sit here and do this all the time? Do it bother you and affect you sometimes?
It does all the time. So I can answer that in 2 ways. You will know when it's bothering me. It's like, now they're granted, there are times when I'm just busy. I'm actually a traveling DJ also. So there are just times when I'm just flat out just busy working or with my kids or doing biker stuff, because I do that also. But there are times when I'm just like, I can't do it this week, or I can't do it today. Like, I will have a set of stories set up, and I'm just like, not today. I'm emotionally not available today. It is hard. And I show my raw emotions. There are times when I will break down in the live stream, on camera, in video, and I don't mind that being seen. And people can say whatever it is that they want, but it's a raw emotion. And I think that's, like I said, that's good to display. And I don't mind the world seeing that. But there are definitely times when it's hard to sleep. But at the same time, why do I continue to keep doing it? Because I feel like when people send me messages, they send me emails and they say, Jay, I went and got life insurance because I watched what you said and heard what you said in that video. When they say, Jay, I stopped spanking my child because I heard what you said in that video. When they say, Jay, I went and adopted some children because I saw how bad it is with CPS when you put out that documentary about CPS corruption, and I wanted to make a difference. When people say they started a non-profit organization and I started that because of your platform, I can name you hundreds and hundreds of times that people have said this, and I'm like, why would I ever stop? And I'm going to continue to do this until my last breath, because that's what you're talking about, finding a purpose. If it matters to somebody, is it making a difference? Are you making a dent? Are people hearing you? Does it matter? And for that, I'm going to rep this always and forever. Not only with the AFC, it doesn't necessarily mean coming to my channel and doing anything in particular on my channel. It's really about being an advocate in your home, being an advocate with your children, being an advocate in your neighborhood, your community, being an advocate at home.
There you go.
Facts.
Advocacy starts at home with your children.
Exactly. Now, my mama is watching, Mama Peach. She is watching the show tonight. Hey, Mama Peach. If y'all are watching, please make sure you go on Roku TV if you want to relax and have a good time tonight. We are live on Roku TV. Mama Peach said, I love that young man up there. But Mama Peach, this is my mentor, girl. That's who I've been talking about all this time. Jay. DJ Just Jay.
Yep.
Now, DJ Just Jay.
And tell her I said hello, and I definitely appreciate that. I'm old school to the heart, so I'm truly, truly grateful.
Oh, that's so nice. I gotta say one more thing because I see it in the chat. Tyree Bradbury chick. He said, "Hey, Miss Peachy, this is Tyree Bradbury. I'm home." Please, Tyree, if you're watching, I definitely want to bring you on the Peachy Tea Time. For everyone that's watching right now, if you ever get the chance to go back onto my YouTube page, please go and look up this story. All you have to do is type in Tyree Bradbury. I had the family on the show. This young man had been locked up from I think 15 years old, and he is now home as an adult. So please, Tyree, make sure you reach out to me so we can have you on Peachy Tea Time, and we can talk about your experience and everything and how you got out. We're gonna talk about that too. All right.
Can I speak on that?
Sure.
Look, you could bring up anything, and I'm gonna have something to say about it. I did want to speak on
I
that
love
because look, you know how they say it's one in every family. We've experienced, some family members of mine that have been through the system and stuff like that. So once you get out and you make it out, and shout out to that young brother, to me, that is your opportunity, a second chance at life for you to go out there and do something positive. And I'm gonna tell you, I've watched brothers get out and done some time, probably the same about as what you've done, and go out into the world and go do some amazing things, create families. That is our opportunity in there. There is definitely, especially in the world that we live in now, there's actually more opportunity now, I think, for us to go out there in the information age, to form your LLCs, to start your own business. Just make sure you take advantage of the opportunity. And, even though I'm hard on people who have, committed crimes or whatever it is that you want to say, once you get out, I think that it's good for society to embrace people, especially when they are on the right path and trying to do something great.
Absolutely.
So shout out to that
Amen.
brother.
Agreed.
Amen. And this is the story right here, you guys. This is the story of Tyree Bradbury, 15 years old, charged as an adult. Okay, he was charged as an adult, and the family came on and told the story. So y'all make sure y'all go and check that out. And then we will have him on the show. I'm sure we will have him on the show. We are about to get into a commercial break. Jay, when we come back, there's something that you said, and I don't know if it flew over some people's head or not, but if it did, I'm gonna bring it on back. Something that you just said, which was a young lady told you that because of you and the things that you said on your show, she no longer spanks her child. And that has been something that you have spoke on ever since I've been watching your show. Before I met you, not face to face, we've never met face to face, but when we first talked over the phone, that's another thing besides hashtag babies for benefits. That stuck with me, that you didn't believe in that. So when we come back from this commercial break, I want you to tell us a little bit on why you don't believe in spanking children. Here we go, y'all. We come right back. Hey, y'all. It's your girl, the missus with the kisses, baby. Mwah. Thank y'all so much for joining me and Jason tonight. Thank you. And if we got a special guest, thank you, special guest. I thank you for coming, sharing your story. But y'all make sure y'all watch us each and every Wednesday, okay? Each and every Wednesday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Where you said? You said where? Roku TV, Facebook, YouTube, and also Twitch, baby. Twitch. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Peachy Tea Time, time spelled with a Y. And make sure you also follow me on all the other platforms just as well. Thank you so much for joining us each and every Wednesday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Back to the show we go, baby. We going back. Bye. All right. It is your time to shine. It's your time to shine. Because all of us over here, we is black folks over here. We probably got a little fight for how y'all do it. Y'all say spanking. We don't say spanking.
What
We say
do we
whooping.
call it? Yep,
Whooping. That's what we call it, whooping. So why do you feel that you should not whoop a child? Like you said some very, very
Do y'all want to give y'all perspective before I give mine, or do you want to hear mine first?
I mean, should we say on camera that we like to whoop our kids or we don't like to whoop our kids?
Who is we?
I'm just saying. That's what I said. I said that we do or we don't. That's what I said. I said it's a statement for us to say that we do or we don't.
Gotcha.
I've never said on camera that I whoop my kids. I've never said it on camera, Jason.
No, I was about to say I don't. I am an advocate of gentle parenting. And it doesn't look like
3 girls.
I do. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I do have 3 girls, but even if I had that mindset of it, I would. I grew up in that era, and I knew that I didn't want to send it over. I didn't want to continue that. So I looked into what gentle parenting was, and it doesn't have to look like what the stigma over gentle parenting look like. Okay, Billy, don't do it again. I'm a like it doesn't have to look like that, and mine don't. So it's like, look, I talk to him like how I talk to him. Look, you do it again, we got issues. You know what I'm saying? But it is a conversation that I address them for the situation or the incidents that they're in. I give them time to speak, but then we also have ultimatums. If you don't do this, then I will take this. You know what I mean? I might thump every now and again, like to grab an attention, like, hey, yo, like you slow down for a second. So I've known that I gotta wrap that up, but I've never done a full out spanking, go get a switch or go get a whole belt. You know what I'm saying? But we do understand consequences, repercussions We understand that if this happens, then this happens. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do this, and I will take this, and they have a full on understanding of that. So I am in that boat. But no, I haven't done out of the 10 years of parenting, right, or almost 11 years of parenting. I've never full on just let me go grab this belt.
Carmen, hey, boo. I love you, Carmen. Carmen said he is talking 45 years too late. I just break off.
Beat the brakes off
Brakes
of mine.
off mine? Why?
Carmen said she used to beat the brakes off hers. You know,
Man,
Carmen is
and you
from
know
that-
what's funny?
Carmen is from that era, though.
You know what's funny about that? Usually when people say that, it's usually like in a sense of pride. That's like usually people say that like, yeah, I used to break my foot off in my kid's ass. Like, why are we so prideful about that? Like you've seen comedians get up there and they do their skits like, how many of y'all used to get beat with train tracks and tennis shoes and frying pans? And I did. Oh, y'all had a wonderful childhood.
Yeah, you never
And
got a
you
whooping?
could see that inner child crying on the inside. So we can break this down in a couple different ways.
Have
First
you
and
ever
foremost,
had a whooping, Jay?
I have had whoopings, spankings, beatings, everything that you can name under the sun, whatever
All
you want
of
to
it,
call
right.
it. I have been abused. Yes. So
And you see how you just laugh. You know,
So,
that's how
look.
the comedians do.
Because usually behind that laughter, there's what?
Pain.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, because I do come from the era. I know you remember me saying just a little while ago that people who come from those things should speak about those things. So if you come from gangs, you should speak out against gangs. If you come from abuse, you should speak out against abuse. If you come from something that is negative, you should be the person speaking against those things, right? So we can break this down in two different ways. I have to take some notes because my memory is really bad. So we could talk about it in a physical way and a psychological way.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that anybody who spanks, hits, physically is aggressive with children for any reason is a stupid parent. And they're lazy as shit. Okay?
I'm sorry.
Because I want you to think about it like this, because I've said this before on the show.
Yeah,
Parenting is
everything you
not
said, I have heard.
parenting is not done with these. Parenting is done with this. And how many of us have been taught and raised to use this or use these, especially in the Black community, in so many different facets, right? We're not taught conflict resolution. So if you are not taught that, you don't understand the value of that. How can you deliver something properly to your children, right? So I don't believe in being physical with kids. And also, just so you know, I used to be a camp counselor for Kanakuk Camp. So shout out to them. I was able to be a part of their leadership program and became a counselor after that. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of kids and got an opportunity to impact their lives. And they come from so many different places across the United States of America. And I'm going to tell you, you can absolutely be a disciplinarian, you could be a parent, you could be a mentor to children without being physical with them.
Facts.
It can be done. If you don't understand how to do that, that's when we need to open up our mouth and start asking questions or do a little bit of research. It can definitely be done, which is why I've always told people, if you struggle with that, you can email me, right? So let's take this back to the origin of where did this spanking and whooping come from our recollection, things that we can see. Maybe you had some grandparents, great-grandparents that you've met, and we understand the stories, and I've heard the stories about slavery and Jim Crow and all of that stuff. That's where it comes from. You beat your property. You beat your cattle, right? You treated Black people in this country like your cattle. The cattle didn't do what I wanted it to do. We gonna whoop the shit out of it, right? We were viewed as objects, as animals, not as human equal people, right? So if that concept of slavery was so bad, and I don't know, and let me say this, I don't want to see another fucking slave movie After this year, I don't want to see no more slave movies created. I'm sorry, we got enough history. We got enough stories. I don't want to hear no Nat Turner Part 2. Here's the part that y'all didn't hear about slavery. I don't want to hear about Emancipation Part 2. I don't want to hear none of. We should, as Black people, should be insulted that people want to continue to keep throwing this oppression in our face. But that's a whole nother story. We'll get to that, I guess, another time, right?
We're gonna have to bring you back for that one.
So, if slavery was so bad, then why do we utilize things that came from slavery? We could talk about the Bible and Christianity. Oh, maybe that's a little touchy for some people, right? Okay, we might have some people out there that are just devout Christians, right? That are just, nonetheless, I'm not gonna be too insulting on that.
But they say "for the child" spelled right. But that's what I have heard all my life.
And me and my mom just talked about that recently. So shout out to mom. Shout out to my mom. We just talked about that recently.
I said, "Fully, did I say it right?"
But if slavery was so bad, then why do we use tactics that came from slavery against our children?
That's how I feel.
Right? It is psychologically damaging. Let's also point to this: the science part of it. In science, they have actually proven that it is psychologically damaging to inflict physical violence. This is because you're trying to break the mental will of a person. This is also why they do this in war. This is why they have these things where they do the most heinous things. They stab people, bomb people, shoot people to invoke fear in order to get people to go a certain way. Okay, so it's not a new concept, but I think even that's bad. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to statistics. How many people are in jail doing life sentences when people say that, yeah, whooping and spanking and beatings are a good thing, that are sitting in prison right now doing life sentences? How many of those people who are in jail got whooped and it still didn't do anything positive for their life? Okay, let's talk about this. Why don't we give children credit for what we need to give them credit for? Children are very smart and children are sponges. As a sponge will absorb whatever you put into it. And whatever you put into a sponge, guess what will come out if you squeeze it? The very same thing that you put in there, right?
Yeah.
So if you put water into a sponge, if you squeeze it, water will come out. So if you put bullshit and hatred into a sponge, what is going to come out? The problem is a parent having dominion. A lot of times they think their way is the right way, my way or the highway. I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. And they just believe devoutly that's the way it should go, when that's maybe not right. And you can see that manifest in the way that your children think, problem solve, and behave. Okay? So let's go to another concept of this. Fear and respect. Would you want your children to fear you or respect you? Personally, I would want my child to respect me. Okay? So here's the thing. When people talk about spanking is a good thing, and if the stove is hot, if I take my belt and I whoop you, you're going to understand that maybe you shouldn't put your hand on that stove, or you can just let them touch the stove, find out for themselves. And I've told you beforehand, you still have to allow people to have free will. So if people want to talk about the Bible so damn much, why is it that they don't understand that God allows us free will? But I guess we could skip that part also, right? He doesn't whoop our ass to make sure that we don't do something. He allows us to do it, and you suffer the consequences of sin, which is death, right? Okay, exactly. So let's keep going.
Well, we gotta hold on. I want to say what Carmen has to say, because I love Carmen. Carmen is one of our best supporters. Carmen always over here showing us love, and Carmen did the same stuff that my mama did. She whooped my ass, and she whooped my brother ass, and let me just read what she got to say. Hold up. I am nothing like stupid. I am not physical with my grandkids, but I am not ashamed of whooping mine. Some of their friends are in jail or have not made much of themselves. My kids raise their children differently, but they are all successful and professional people. talking about her kids. She may have whooped her kids' ass, but they came out successful and professional people, but they don't do that to their kids.
Mm-hmm. So you remember when we talked about this thing where I said hashtag not all?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we have to have a little bit of thick skin whenever we are absorbing information. And we have to be able to hear the entire message before we could decipher what's actually being said here, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not castigating people who have spanked, but what I'm saying is statistically, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing, and I'm presenting reasons why we should not. We can always go back and look at our past and say, here's why we maybe shouldn't have gone this direction. See what I'm saying? So I feel like, and this is, look, I'm trying to tell you, because my parents are about as old school as anybody's parents are. We are from the South. So I understand this better than anybody does. And I still talk to them to this day about where we were and why I believe what I believe. And even they're starting to come around and be like, Jay, I feel where you're coming from. And that's what I'm saying. Like you have to kind of dig deeper than the surface, you know what I'm saying, to really, really get that concept. But it takes a little bit of time. And especially if we've always believed one thing, it takes time.
It does. It does. I agree.
Let me bring this up real quick. I'll try to keep it a little bit briefer. Fear or respect. I want my child to respect me. So when you are physically telling a child, or even being physical with them, like I'm pretty sure, like if people are spanked, they probably had to hold the child down because the child was probably like, hell no, I'm not about to be held down, and you hold them down against their will and spank them and hit them anyway. Do they learn to respect you? Or do they fear the fact that you're going to do that to them again? It's almost like a dog. And if you kick a dog in the rib enough times, that dog is going to lash out at you, or that dog is going to shut down, because that is what fear does. It affects you in that way psychologically. And spanking does the exact same thing. It is a physical action that freaking hurts, and you are told that you're not supposed to do anything about it. So if we want our people as a whole, because I think that we deal with this more than anybody, why wouldn't we want to strengthen the psychological and the mindset of our people when we have evidence that shows that us being physical with each other and not having good conflict resolution is a damaging thing as a community throughout?
I agree, Jay. Carmen,
Sorry,
girl,
I was
you know
so
I
long
love
about
you.
that.
Oh no, you're fine. Carmen, you know I love you and everything, but I was just like Herman when I saw Jay's show and he started talking about whoopings. Not because of if I whoop my kids or if I don't whoop my kids, because I don't know what I do to my kids. I don't know what I do. But anyway, when I started watching him and he started talking about that, I was like, man, that's crazy. What you mean? You're supposed to whoop your kid? I know he done whooped his kid before. I know he got whooped. You know what I'm saying?
I yelled at my daughter one time, and I saw the fear in her eyes, and she cried. And I said, I would never do that again. She had to been every bit of like 5 or 6 at the time. And I try to tell people, like, I'm not this newscaster. I'm just a concerned father. I'm a concerned dad, and the type of options that these young girls have out here in this world, why would I not speak to that if I have the ability to make people think, to help people learn, in order to maybe give my daughter better options out there, right? Because she's at the dating age. She'll be 17 this year. I ain't got no little bitty kid.
Wow.
I'm
Now,
just a concerned father. That's all.
even with a boy, you know, if you didn't pour into your son in that sponge that you were supposed to pour into that sponge, and he came out here acting wild as ever, 4, 5, 6, 7, you still don't feel like you should put your hands on the child, no matter what the circumstances is. You should not put your hands on your child. That's how you feel.
Yep.
All right.
100%.
Well, I must say, I agree with you 100%. I love sitting on the phone with my cousin. Shout out to Keisha. Me and Keisha always talk about, when we talk on the phone, how we are doing things different with our own kids. You know, we didn't like it at the time. One of the things that you were talking about was these Black movies, Roots. Let's talk about that. where Kente had the damn whips on his back, and every time we see it, we get mad. We be like, why you doing that to Kunta like that? But it's been times where, you know, I had a couple whips. Well, you know, I didn't think my mama was abusing me. I didn't think my mama was the worst mama in the world. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like that was how it was supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I thought it was supposed to go like that. You know, at the end of the day, my mama whooped me and my brother. But guess what? One went right, one went left. That's all I'm gonna say on it. One went right, one went left, but we both got it. So, I want to get into this last story. Have you heard of the Ryan Harris story, y'all? A young lady, little girl, back in the day, 1998. Jason, did you hear about that?
That might be a bit too far back for me.
Okay. Yeah, she was raped and kidnapped. And let me see. I want to read it to y'all because y'all it's gonna blow your mind. And again, this was back in 1998. Okay, let's make that clear. Back in 1998. But we have some new updates that just came about. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. So give me 1 second. Let me see if this is. Here it is right here. I want to read this to y'all. This happened in Chicago. Back in August 11, 1998 was when the article was printed. It says boys 7 and 8 accused of killing girl 11 years old. 2 boys as ages 7 and 8 have been arrested on suspicion of murdering an 11-year-old girl. Police said Monday in a case certain to inflame passions over the punishment of juvenile offenders. The boys are accused of killing Ryan Harris, whose head was smashed with a rock and mouth was stuffed with twigs and grass. She was also sexually assaulted. Police said the pair, the youngest murder suspect in Chicago history and among the youngest ever in the nation, killed Ryan because they wanted to steal the shiny blue Road Warrior bicycle she was riding. They are so young that Illinois law doesn't provide for their incarceration. No one under 10 may be kept in a locked facility. The older boy is 5 years shy of the minimum age at which he could be charged as an adult. Now, keep in mind, y'all were talking about 7 to 8 years old. This one, unfortunately, is blazing new trails, said a somber Bob Benjamin, a spokesman for the Cook County State's Attorney Office. But they are by no means alone in their status as accused pre-adolescent killers. In 1996, the most recent year for which FBI statistics are available, there were 3 murders committed in the United States by children ages 5 to 8. In 1997, 13-year-old Los Angeles boy shot and killed 2 people, including an 82-year-old Watts grandmother, Viola McClain. On Monday, an 11-year-old Martinez boy. Okay, we don't need to read that part. I want to see if they showed the paper. Okay, that ain't the one. But they were 7 and 8 years old, number one. So I'm finna show y'all this video, and then y'all will see why it was an update. Here we go.
Sabrina Harris and her family come to the Inglewood Neighborhood Park named in honor of her daughter, 11-year-old Ryan Harris, just hours after learning Floyd Durr, the convicted child rapist and murderer who killed her, has died in prison.
I'm just happy that justice has been served. It's been a long, long time.
The Illinois Department of Corrections confirms the 55-year-old felon died on Monday while serving his sentence at the Pontiac Correctional Center. State records show Durr had been in the prison's infirmary for the last month, suffering from end-of-life lung disease. Durr's relatives could not be reached for comment.
I feel like justice is finally served after 26 years.
Floyd Durr was already serving a 125-year sentence for sexually assaulting other girls when he was charged in 1999 with the rape and murder of Ryan. He eventually pled guilty in 2007 and was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. The case drew national attention after Chicago police first accused 7- and 8-year-old boys of the crime before DNA led them to Durr.
I remember picking them out in the lineup, and I was only 6, but I remember.
Over the years, the Harris family has endured other tragedies. Since Ryan's death, her brother and a cousin of hers both became victims of gun violence, and Durr even made a failed request for clemency for his crimes.
I'm glad for them. I'm glad for all of them, because now they can, honor their sibling and honor her daughter. Like, they could just continue to honor her.
And while Sabrina Harris says news of Durr's death doesn't do anything to lessen the grief she's felt since her daughter's slaying, it does bring a painful chapter to end, allowing her family to finally heal as they continue to honor Ryan as they have every year.
This year when we celebrate completely different. It feels better when we celebrate because he's not here.
My concern was the 7 and 8-year-old. Why they was even arrested. They had arrested the 7 and 8-year-old, because they had to question them and everything. But they would have caught the guy a lot sooner. He could have heard of other people, but they were so concerned about this 7 or 8-year-old because they wanted this little girl bike, and they had also threw rocks at her. So by them throwing rocks at her, they thought that they killed her, smashed her head into a rock. So what's y'all intake on this, as men?
I could say this, first of all, not to say that they don't know anything, but the likelihood of a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old knowing anything about sex or even being able to get an erection, I just think is just not likely, first and foremost. Yeah. So it's just, that's what I'm saying, like critical thinking sometimes would just make you think, and that's why a lot of these stories bother me, because I'm just like, in a situation like this, if I had to choose between an adult doing this or 2 children doing this, what's the likelihood, especially when you're talking about there was a sexual assault involved?
Exactly.
That's insane. And then I'm sitting here looking this up because I was a little bit confused at first, but it looked like this fool, this idiot was what, in his late 20s or early 30s at the time.
Yep.
So he passed away at age 55.
Yeah. And this baby wasn't nothing but 11 years old.
And how many stories do I tell on my channel, Peachy, that are this exact thing where children disappeared? We also have another hashtag mom's boyfriend, right? You've heard that plenty of times. Because usually the likelihood is this, that when a woman, usually the children are with the mother. If there's a split in custody, usually the mother has custody. Most of the women in this country have custody of their children. Okay. So usually when they're dating, they're bringing another man around these kids. So it's usually going to be mom's boyfriend and these kids. Exactly. And a lot of these times, these children have been sexually assaulted. And I try to warn women about this. Well, and maybe I'm going too deep off into stories that I tell because it doesn't have anything to do with this one. But I think you kind of get what I'm saying. Like,
hashtag background checks. Get them background checks, lady. He talk about that all the time too on his show.
So it just sounds like this man wasn't. It just sounds like this man was an opportunist for the most part. He was already sexually aroused by this little girl.
Yeah.
And as you guys can see in our country, that's not uncommon for there to be a lot of pedophiles and hebophiles in our country.
Exactly. I want to read something that Erica wrote. She said, "This is why I love the relationship with my daughter." And this was from the last topic. Her husband and their children, because they believe in gentle parenting. They believe in coming to me. Their daughter is 13 going on 14, and she's changing things around because she was a teen mother and she doesn't want her to become a teen mother. They believe in talking no matter what it is. But I don't want you guys to get it wrong. With her being a teen mother, my daughter is doing wonderful, married in college, her and her husband. But I had to reopen my eyes. Yeah, because Erica she you get whoopings too, but I'm telling y'all, if you just listen to what Jay is saying, if you listen
I believe in this. I believe in.
this
I
is what
believe
it
in this
makes
simple
sense.
concept. I believe in this simple concept that as a parent, you shouldn't force your children to do anything. You should guide them, because what you're trying to do is raise them to be independent thinkers, critical thinkers. And if they're just constantly just being they're just constantly used to just being told what to do and just do that like robots, then they're just as good as prisoners anyway.
Exactly.
Isn't that how a lot of our people end up in prison?
Yep, because they don't put their hands on somebody, or they done shot and killed somebody. They done did something wrong, something. And I believe that's how that domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? We advocate for that over here. But domestic violence, I believe that comes from them whooping them kids' ass. They just feel like that's the only resort. Is I gotta beat her or I gotta beat him.
You
You
know
know,
what's been happening a lot lately? I don't know if you've seen this, Jason, but I know Peachy has. How many of these parents have been whooping their children to death?
a lot of them. I think I just had
Bro, there
some.
was like a set of stories almost a whole week. It was literally like story after story after story, spanking, beat to death, spanking, beat to death. And I'm like, damn, like that's murder. Like, what the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And half of them be the girls' boyfriends. It don't even be the daddies. It be the boyfriends. Like, why do you feel so comfortable to put your hands on my child? And some of these women don't put their hands on their child, but they sure let their boyfriend do it in a heartbeat,
But they won't let the fathers do it. Ain't that something?
and won't let the fathers touch them. You better not touch my
Fight them for
child.
custody all day long, but I'm gonna make sure that this kid die. Funny how that works.
Exactly. Well, we have came to the end of the show, you guys. Before we go, I gotta play DJ Just Jay one more again. So here we go.
They don't have to watch, but why people feel the need to try to tear down what I believe is a good thing. We have gotten criminals arrested. We have helped save children's lives. We have donated to children. We have helped take children to camp. We've actually got people arrested and convicted. We actually have convictions that we have helped put forward because of our podcast. Just from watching us on YouTube, you feel like, what do I do just sitting here? We do research. The research and work that we have done has put us actually on local news in California. Did y'all hear about that? We were actually on the local California news. So don't make it seem like we're not doing anything. We don't represent something really good and really positive. And that I feel like our podcast is making a slow change and causing people to at least think about the decisions that they're making when it comes to their children, and think about the decisions that you make when it comes to dating. Damn it.
Yes.
That's impressive. I appreciate you doing that. That's impressive.
You're so welcome. One thing I must say, that when I have people that come on my show, I definitely want them to know that I'm watching. I'm looking, I'm observant, and I'm going to make sure that, number one, they have a good time when they come here, and they gonna know Miss Peachy doing what she's supposed to be doing. Okay, I always gonna make sure that I'm totally honored that you came on here to Peach Tea Time. I was honored to come over there on your platform for you to interview me, but I know that I look at your platform. I see the views. I see the subscribers. I see how the people comment. they be on it, on it, on it, on it. You get the emails, all of that, and you still took the time to say, I will mentor you. I will come over there on your platform. And when I tell y'all, anytime I call this brother, anytime, if he don't answer right then and there, you better believe he gonna call me back. I don't have to wait days. I don't have to wait hours. He calls me right back, and we get straight to business. So I thank you for that. I really, really do. I learn from you just as well, and you are truly, truly, truly doing your thing. And I can say this from your platform to my platform to Miss V's platform. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do over there at AFC Podcast. Okay. Now we always let our guests in the show, but don't worry, I'm gonna tell you what to say. I'm gonna tell you what to say. Don't even worry about it. But before I tell you what to say, we gotta let Jason say what he got to say, baby.
Yeah, man. Again, DJ Just J, we appreciate you being here wholeheartedly. Thank you, man. I'm gonna tap in more with your platform so I can get a full understanding. So it's been a blessing to have you up here today just to get everything that you talked about. So it's been amazing. Lastly, before we get up out of here, guys, we're still nominated for Podcast of the Year through Yo ATL Raps. So if you guys go to the website Yo ATL Raps, make sure that you look for Podcast of the Year and hit that vote for us, man. It goes until April 24th. That way, you know what I'm saying, we can take home that gold. Secondly, I've been nominated for Internet Radio Station of the Year. You can go to ctvradio.live, right on the very front where you see a video. It'll say vote here. There's a button. You click that button. It'll take you to where you need to go to. Scroll down to Internet Radio Station of the Year, and then look for CTV Radio Station, and then go ahead and vote that way as well. So we both are nominated again. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you get those votes in up until April 21st. One vote a day. You heard? Lastly, you can guys come find me if you're looking for brand new independent music, fresh off the press, new music you probably never heard, and it's high quality. Come check us out over on TikTok at CTV Radio. Have a good time with us, man. It's always a pleasure to have any new person pop in and hear some amazing music and kick it with an amazing community. Again, it's CTV Radio over on TikTok.
That's why I love my co-host. I just got, ain't nobody bad this time. We ain't laughing at it. We ain't laughing at it all because y'all know all my families that come on. I love y'all. I'm so thankful and honored that y'all come on. But baby, Jason said, it's just Jay down there, goddamn it. I'm finna go ahead and put my plug in right now. I mean, Jay, when I tell you, I be like, Jason, go on ahead and tell them where they can find you. Jason be like, no, it is not about me.
It ain't about me. You know what I'm saying?
It's about this family. Right. I mean, Jay, I be wanting to crawl under the rock. But Jason, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with me tonight.
Absolutely.
Again, I cannot wait to see you in a couple weeks here in the baby. We getting it in. I got so much planned, and we're gonna have a great time. Also, please try and tune in, Jason, on Friday. Just at the beginning, because I got a little surprise on there that I want you to see just as well. So make sure you tune in. And if you stay on just for a couple seconds, absolutely. You know how we do. We gotta say goodbye to our guests. But I'm finna bring Jason down, y'all. I'm finna bring Jason down. Yes. I got this. Let me go to this comment right quick. I gotta go to this comment. Dippy Escapes. That's what she said her name is. Dippy Escapes. She said, Peachy, you're lucky. I can't get his ass on my panel. What the hell? How you do this? Now, as y'all can see, I can't read, but I just wanted to make it my way. Dippy, I don't know. Ask the Lord, girl. Ask the Lord.
How long ago did you try to get this date from me?
Yes, it's been a while.
How long ago?
Not too long. How long it was? Probably about a couple months, 2 months, 2-3 months. Yeah. That because he be so busy. He be so busy. But I'm still thankful. Again, and like I said before, this is the second time that you came, and each time I've asked him to come, y'all, I've been scared as hell. Cause I'm like, I don't know what he gonna say. He might say nah. And I'll be like, forget it, I'm gonna ask anyways, you know. And one thing about me, I'm persistent, you know, and I manifest things.
And let me say this real quick, and I definitely didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine.
But
I'm just trying to rain on your
just
parade. I'm
know,
not raining on your parade, but I'm
just
trying
know,
to, you know,
Dippy. I will tell you, Dippy, just as well as everybody's found out. It's just a matter of time. So just bear with me. I will come on. Like if I had to name everybody from Tommy Sotomayor to make this go viral, to Peachy Tea Time, to Molly Go Lightly, to Justin For All, to my guy Ickmail, to Chris Thorns, to I could probably keep going and naming a lot of people, but it's just a matter of time. Just bear with me. I will absolutely come over there and we're gonna get it in for sure. I'll say
now,
that.
in the meantime, Dippy, if you want me to come over there, girl, just let me know. I'll come. Don't worry about it. I'll come. Just let me know.
I got
But Jay, again, thank you so much. You are helping so many people out there. Just like Tommy did, he helped you. You could have stopped right then and there and be like, I ain't helping nobody. I done got to where I'm trying to get to, or I'm on my own thing trying to get even higher. But no, you obey God. You, at the end of the day, you obey God and you are willing to help as needed. And I thank you for that so much. Now, it's time for you to shine, baby. This is your time to say what I'm finna tell you to talk about, okay? Fully laughing back there. Now, this is what I want you to talk about.
Tell him I said, what's up? That's my
Jay said,
partner.
what's up? He said, what up, though, Jay? So even Poolie know Jay. We all know Jay. But listen, Jay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to talk to every last, now, it's explicit language over here. Say what you want to say. I want you to talk to every last parent that has killed their child. I want you to talk in this order. Every parent that has killed their child and every mother that has sat there and let a boyfriend come along, be in the picture, and off their child. That's what I want you to talk about. And when you done, just put your little church finger up like that. And I know. And then y'all got to wait and see my babies. All right.
It's a very interesting take, and I definitely appreciate you setting it up like that. It's interesting. I wasn't even prepared for that, but I'll do what I feel like is in my heart. I will say this to those who hurt, murder, and abuse children, no matter whether it's the mother, whether it's the father, boyfriend, grandparents, or random people. I will say this. When you're talking about, and if you believe in a higher power and you're talking about God judging your heart, and when we all will reach judgment day, I believe that we will be judged, especially to those who are most vulnerable, the smallest, the most defenseless, the ones who need us and depend on us for anything and everything. That I feel like there should be the harshest judgment, especially against those who hurt, murder, or abuse our children. To those who don't do those things, and for those who absolutely have good hearts and want to see their children grow up and become something great, always encourage you to remember that children are smart. Use your mind, not these, and to guide your children. We are supposed to guide our children and not force them to do anything. Lead them in the way that they should go. Lead them as an example. Your life should be an example. Your behavior should be an example. And your word should also be an example. And I continue to just encourage people, as long as you got breath in your body, there's always time to do better. And all we have is today, and we have to do as best as we can with what we have right here and right now. And I think that if we all collectively come together and do that, and also I also want to say another thing here real quick. The Bible does not say we should not judge. You absolutely should judge. We should set a standard for judgment. So make sure you guys go and truly study your word. I come from studying the Bible and went through some leadership programs, but you are supposed to have righteous judgment. Judge lest thou be judged. It is to set a righteous standard for judgment. So yes, I am very, very hard on people who hurt, murder, and abuse children, and will continue to do so. So make sure you guys really truly study your word and understand it. It doesn't do any good to hear a word and not understand it, okay? But more than anything, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to give a shout out to Peachy Tea Time, give a shout out to Jason. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And also make sure that you guys take an opportunity to promote yourselves, any opportunity that you get, because I believe that the more that we continue to share, that rising tide will make all boats float. So the more that we continue to congregate and share with each other, I think we'll all get better together. So shout out to you guys. Make sure you guys go and do the simple things. If there is a medium for you guys to be able to go and vote for Jason and go vote for Peachy Tea Time, please make sure you guys hit those buttons, submit those forms. Super easy to do. All it takes is a little bit of finger work. I've actually already have experienced people supporting my show. So as you guys can see back here in the background, I would like to thank those who helped the AFC podcast get to where we are. So we got that beautiful thing from YouTube. And also I'd like to thank the people for voting in 2021 favorite podcast OKC People's Choice Awards, which I think is also dope. So we also have an award for that. I wanted to share that with the people. But thank you guys so much. Continue to vote and support these platforms. Shout out to Peachy Tea Time. Shout out to everybody who was in the chat listening with an open mind as well as an open heart. And from my heart to yours, we love you. AFC Podcast, we advocate for children first. Thank you guys so much.
Yes. I want to thank again Just Jay for coming on here tonight. Thank you all for watching just as well. Now, I came back. You know, I don't even know if I should have came back, but I came back because one thing about me, I just be hitting the comments. I just hit the comments. And sometimes I read them first, sometimes I don't. Well, this comment I didn't read first. I just put it up there. So I feel like I must address it. Jiminy Cricket. Okay. I just want you to know that this is my energy, baby. This is my energy. And if you don't like my energy, then I don't know what to tell you whatsoever. This is Kool-Aid, everybody. This is Kool-Aid. But if you have ever watched my show, you will know that this is my energy and I bring it, baby. And when I bring it hard. So, Dippy, reach out to me, girl. I love to be on your show. I sure will. And I will see you guys on Friday, my birthday celebration. On Saturday, I will be going live. We will be partying, having a good time. I want everybody to make sure y'all come out and join me just as well. Look on my Facebook page. You will see the flyer with the address. Just come on, let's pack this place out, baby, and celebrate me, baby. I'm an Aries all day to heart. Okay, we love to celebrate, and we gonna always have a good time. So I love you all. I see you on Friday. Love and relationships. Bye, Jay. I'm gonna need you to stay on for a hot second. Bye.
Having computer issues? Can't find a nearby computer store or tech? No need to worry, Computer Tech is a computer repair and mobile service. Not in Georgia, no need to worry, Computer Tech can remote into your computer as well. Prices are starting as low as $40. Services are virus removal, data recovery, data transfer, hardware installation, software installation, computer tune-up, laptop and desktop, home and online. Contact 404-405-8515 and ask for Tony, and don't forget to tell them Ms. Peachy sent you.